to this live session. Today I'm streaming live from Abeokuta, and I'm streaming from YouTube, Instagram, so I'm just going to be moving around. And our topic today is on food poisoning. Now, what is food poisoning? Food poisoning is an illness caused by eating or drinking something that is contaminated with harmful bacteria, viruses, parasites, natural toxins, or chemicals. Now, the thing about a food that may have food poisoning is that the food may look okay, it may smell, it may even taste normal in some cases, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the food is not poisoned. And that is to say that you cannot ascertain poisoned food from look and just from smell. That's just what I want to say. And also, I also want to say that the food that the last food you ate is not necessarily the food that caused illness. Sometimes symptoms begin immediately after eating the food. Sometimes it may take up to 3 days, some minutes, some 30 minutes, some 1 hour, some days after. So it matters a lot for us to pay attention to when we eat, especially when we eat outside of our regular place. Always take a record, because food poisoning doesn't just start. Now, I want to say as a fact that heating your food, microwaving your food, heating your food on the fire can work well for a food that has been properly kept safe. But a food that is already bad, heat does not change anything. And as we go on, I have some questions and different things that I've put together that people sent to me about this food poisoning. And I want to welcome you. Please drop on the group where you are watching from. I'd like to know where you are watching from. Please let me know where you are watching from. Drop in the comment section. Today we're talking about food poisoning. And I'm going to be talking about, because I know a lot of our people are in Nigeria, but they cut across different countries. I'm going to talk about common ways that we get food poisoning. I'm sure you will just think wash your hand in the toilet, but there is a lot more that you need to know, and different aspects that you need to pay attention to, and the implication of this to our health. I decided to do a sticks over the last 2 months, and I asked people to send questions around their health concerns. Some of you may have even sent your questions. I'm going to be answering them as much as I can. But I was fascinated to find out that more than 40, we sent message to over 12,000 people, and over 40% of those 12,000 people have issues around their digestive system. And as I began to delve deep, I found that several of them are having symptoms of digestive problem. They say, oh, I'm having ulcer, I'm having bloating, but they have not been able to understand that some of them, the cause is as a result of food poisoning, something that they have eaten that has introduced some bacteria to them. Please confirm that you can hear me by dropping a comment on the group, on the chat, so I can see, and also let me know where you are streaming from. Thank you for joining me. My name is Dr. Rita Jabin. Let me know where you are streaming from. Now, where are the sources or common ways we get food poisoning? Number one is from drinking untreated water. Either borehole water, either surface water. Drink water is one of the common causes of food poisoning. Now when we now look at common cause of food poisoning, we now look at ice block. Oftentimes we look at water like, oh, I drink clean water. That ice that you put in your food from your drink, in the party, in, even in your freezer. That's your block compartment. That is one of the easy ways for which pathogens can stay, especially because, number one, the kind of water that is used, and then the hygiene of that compartment in itself. So we look at ice. We're looking at how do people get food poisoning. We say water, not just the water that you drink, the water that is used to make the ice block that you are drinking, the water that is used to make your drinks that you make. What are the common drinks that people make? We have drinks like Zobo drink. I have seen a lot of people, they like to drink Zobo. The Zobo you are drinking, understanding that heat does not destroy. As we go into this class, you will see, you will understand more about the impact of heat, how little it is if a process is already contaminated. The water that is used to make that Zobo, the water that is used to make that soya milk, the water that is used to make that tiger nut milk, that's your fruit juice, all these things can become source of poisoning to the body. And then the container. A lot of us, we have a lot of bottles that we use to drink water. These bottles have straw in them. Are you aware that that straw that you use, saliva from your mouth usually retains a lot of bacteria? The straw that you use to drink your water, that straw of your cup, when last did you properly wash and disinfect it? These are channels for which bacteria, we have already said that food poisoning is anything that you consume that is contaminated by either bacteria, either fungus, either parasites, which include worm infestation. These are some of the things that causes, and then we have molds and other stuff. Now let's look at, I've talked about ice and water. I now move on to the food that you eat now, the temperature of your food. Number 6, so I've mentioned number 1, I'm mentioning them, I've mentioned 5 points. Number 6 now, we look at your rice, we look at your beans, we look at your moi moi, your stew, your meat left over in the kitchen, especially rice. In the course of my study, I found out that one of the foods that has a tendency to be a vector or something that carries a lot of food infection is rice. Rice that you just boil, you left on the surface, bacteria begin to act on it. So it's easy to pick up poisoning from rice, from beans, from egusi soup, from different food when they are left on the table, left on the counter overnight. And then you find that you have a pot of soup on the fire, and you have finished making the soup, and the soup is left on the gas, and then you are cooking something else. That food that you are cooking, you have a 4-burner gas. On one burner there is food there, another burner you are cooking something. Are you aware that process of keeping food close to burner that you are not directly heating, that stays on your surface of your on the gas, are you aware that those temperature changes allows for bacterial activities because the food is unnecessarily remaining warm? You touch it, it's feeling warm. It's always feeling warm. When you finish cooking your food, you remove the food from the fire and keep it somewhere to cool properly. Then when it's cool, you put it in the freezer. Now, if you don't have light and you want to rewarm the food, you make sure that food is not in proximity with heat from other things you are cooking, because that irregular temperature makes it possible for bacteria to thrive. All right, and then we look at foods that are ate in parties that are displayed on your trays. These are different foods that people go to party to eat. The handling of the food, these are another sources for which people pick up infection. Number 9, your food that you put in the fridge. I remember I shared on the group some days ago. I posted a picture. I said, on this on this I posted on that food was already contaminated. I wish I can show. This is YouTube. You cannot show image, right? So I put the picture of cockroaches, ants, flies, and all that if already on a food, and I asked if you throw away, sanctify it in the name of Jesus, or one that's like either you throw it away, sanctify it in the name of Jesus, and warm it and eat. What is your choice? You know, and several people made different choices. Whatever your choice is not bad, but today I'm going to give you knowledge to make better choice. So I said that I made a big large pot of soup with goat meat, spent a lot of money to buy goat meat, made the stew, and then there was temperature fluctuation. Even though I was running generator, the temperature was not stable, the light was not stable. And so after 2 days, so every day I was running fuel, but after 2 days I opened the freezer and found out that what, more than 7 bowls of soup were already bad, plus the tomato paste I made was already bad. And I'm like, what? How did this happen? Why? It took me some days to decide to throw it away, but I had to throw it away because these foods were already growing fungus. I know that some of us, we make eba, and then you see that the eba, after 2 days, you just use your hand to scrape that part away, scrape that part away, and then you decide to discard it. Hello, fungal infection, molds are already growing. These things cause digestive problem. We have people who always have issues around their digestive system. We have people who always say, oh, I'm having digestive problem, I'm having this, I'm having that. Have you treated ulcer? I'm treating ulcer, and the ulcer is not going. Why is the ulcer not going? The ulcer is not going not because they have H. pylorus, but they have other types of bacteria. And you say, oh, the stomach acid is very hot. The stomach acid is very hot, but these microorganisms, they are able to resist even the stomach acid and able to cause inflammation in the body. Now, let's move on. So, we looked at food kept in the refrigerator. Number 9, these are, now when the food, especially rice now, rice, let me talk about rice because that's a very staple food. Rice is able to, a particular bacteria that infects rice is called Bacillus cereus. These Bacillus cereus spores can survive cooking. So and this rice can pick up this bacteria when the rice remains warm at room temperature. It makes the bacteria able to multiply, to spread very well. And if you agree with me, rice is a common food that we use every day. So did you ever think that rice can be the channel by which you are contracting infection, stomach infection, food poisoning? I'm sure you didn't know. Number 10, failing to wash your hand properly from after using the toilet with soap. Rinsing your hands is not enough. In this day and age where people have long nails, I tell you, it's very important that when you wash, you have to wash your hand as if you are going to perform surgery. You wash properly. You need to wash your fingers. Ensure that the soap enters. In fact, sometimes smell your fingernails. If you don't, so really wash very, very, very well. Then number 10, we look at how do people pick up food infection. Number 11, handling ready to eat food with unwashed hands. You just that one that you just use your hand to clean your shirt and you just pick the food, or someone comes to put their hand in your food. We have already been able to establish that microwaving does not kill, and a food that is already infected, heat cannot change the infectious process. That already has been established. Now, when someone is having an infection, an active infection, a flu, that can be a channel by which your food is infected. Also, when someone is having diarrhea, like they're having diarrhea, or when somebody is even actively going through a process of food poisoning and they now handle food for you, they can also contaminate food for you. Number 13, source by which people can get food poisoning is touching money. You see, money, one bacteria that goes with money that is found present in a lot of notes is called Staphylococcus aureus or aureus. Staphylococcus aureus is a very commonly available bacteria. It is one of the bacteria it is one of the most commonly available bacteria, and it is also one of the most bacteria that people find when they run tests, stool analysis, urine analysis. Why? They even infect themselves. How? Touching money. Money is one of the common places where, because as you move from hand to hand, this bacteria stays on the surface, and so from hand to hand it moves on. Your phone is another means. Your raw meat waste material, and then you see, you touch the food, you just pay attention to when I go to toilet, I wash my hand with soap and water. When I finish touching money, counting money for somebody, do I wash my hands with soap and water? No. My phone that I use every minute and touch every minute, when I want to eat, do I wash my hands? Am I conscious that my phone, I drop it on different surfaces, I give people handle it, I handle it, and so it's a common bacteria habitat. And so from there, as you're holding your phone, I just pick the corn, or just pick the bole, and you're just eating. Bacteria just move like that, so we're talking about food poisoning and digestive complaints that people have. And I welcome you from all over the world, from where you're watching, from YouTube, from Facebook, from everywhere. I welcome you. Please stay tuned. I hope you are hearing me. Please drop a comment and let me know that you're learning. So I've shared with you 13 points, because I don't intend for this class to be more than an hour. Now, number 14, we look at cross-contamination. Using the same knife, the same chopping board that you use to do salads for your chicken, your meat, right? Without washing and disinfecting it. So you must have a means of disinfecting your utensils, your kitchen utensils. It is very, very important. If not, you're going to cross-contaminate. Now, another means by which people can infect their food, contract food poisoning, is allowing meat water to touch uncooked food, to touch cooked food. And then that is another means, because cooked food you are ready to eat, uncooked food you need to still process it. Number 16 is when you pick up food that you have not properly washed, right, and you put it in a plate of you serve a plate, you serve something here, then you say no, I don't want to eat it. You just pour the food back, and then that plate or that utensil, you don't properly wash it, you use to serve. And also, I want to use this opportunity to say to you that it has come to the point where you need to be more intentional about your health, about where you eat food and how you eat food. Because it's not everybody that pays so much attention to their health enough to pay, to be this sanitary conscious when it comes to food, right? They are not intentional. They are not intentionally wanting to cut harm. Some of them don't even know. All right. So another way by which contamination takes place, food poisoning takes place, is your blender. Do you know that every time you use a blender and a remnant from your last thing that you cooked is still hanging under your blender, that is already an avenue for food poisoning to take place. Your blender must not have a remnant. It must not have a particle. This is a common way, and then this is a common way for which people pick up food poisoning, and they use to cook the food. And we've already established that a process of making food that is infected, once there is an infectious process going on, if you cook it inside lava, that if most all these Staphylococcus aureus, I'm going to be mentioning the different organisms. Their spores are heat resistant. heat does not affect it. You see that particular bacteria that follows rice infection when your food is infected with rice, that Bacillus cereus is not affected by heat. So when you use a blender that is not well washed, properly washed, to cook, that's a problem. And this goes to, I saw a study that was made, that was done, and I saw that people went to they want to take specimen from these grinding machines in the market. By the time I analyzed that research that was done, they went to my 12 market, different popular markets across Lagos and some other states in Nigeria. The same kinds of bacteria were found. The same kind of toxic minerals were found, because food poisoning is not only bacteria. Pesticides, heavy metals can also be a part, like lead. You see, like lead, like all these things are also a part of food poisoning. So we're not looking at anything that is contaminated with bacteria, with viruses, with parasites, with pesticides, with heavy metals. They cause illness. So let's go on. Your undercooked meats, your undercooked seafood, your undercooked fish, these are means by which food poisoning can take place, especially when there is still blood inside that your meat or that thing. Thank you so much. The teaching is much more exciting. Thank you so much. I'm glad to hear your feedback. Please let me know as you're learning the key things that you learned that is standing out for you. Please just drop it in the comment. Now, so your suya, your fish, point and kill fish that you do, that is not sufficiently cooked to the inside. These are sources by which bacteria, fungus, even parasites can infect the body. Your yogurts, a lot of us are now doing a lot of parfait, a lot of these things. The yogurts that is used, these are things that have culture in them. You need to be sure that these people are maintaining standard. If not, taking yogurt is good. But if you take a yogurt that is not well done, that is not properly done, I tell you, you have just taken a host and a legion of infection into your body, and you will not like the outcome of the feelings you will have. Food that are exposed to, number 22, foods that are exposed to flies, to dirty water, to waste, these are sources of food infection. Then your food can only have two temperatures. It is either the food is hot or it is cold. That one that you will now say you just keep it lukewarm, it's just lukewarm, it's inside somewhere, it's not, they say it's still warm. A warm food is a good environment for bacteria. At least I've mentioned two for you. Now, another way that people pick up infection from raw vegetables, from salad, from cut fruits. You see, I advise you, don't buy cut watermelon on the road. Don't buy cut pineapple. Don't buy cut pawpaw. Cut fruit. Try as much as possible. If you want to eat fruit, buy the whole fruit and take home. Do not buy cut fruit, because the water they use to wash that, hey God, the water they use to wash those things. Remember that I said to you, we'll be able to establish that a food that is contaminated, once a food is contaminated, there is nothing like I want meat. There is nothing like I heat it. Heat will not, those bacteria are heat resistant. They die. Heat they kill them. All right. Now I talked about mycotoxins. I asked in the survey, I said, do you know what is in fact, I can't really remember how I phrased it again, but I know I asked the question. I said, so people said they didn't know what mycotoxins are. So I decided to talk about mycotoxins. What are mycotoxins? Mycotoxins are poisonous chemicals naturally produced by certain molds. Molds, if you see eba, you see that thing that is on top of eba, those are example of mycotoxins. You see all those things that people go, and all those people that say they are doing dry elubo, you see the thing will have some kind of mold on it. Those are dangerous mycotoxins. Now, what are mycotoxins? They are poisonous naturally produced by molds, especially Aspergillus, Fusarium, and Penicillin species. This mold may grow on the crop from the farm or during drying and storage, particularly when the food is warm and damp. Mycotoxin is not the same as visible mold. Food may contain mycotoxins after moldy part is removed. So that thing you are seeing on top of that food, once you are seeing it, it's already very bad. But I'm saying to you that, so I'm going to tell you how to know foods that have possibility of having mycotoxins in them. That's why you are here today. I'm giving you this lecture, right? Okay. So we already established that even though you have removed you've removed those parts, you say, okay, I cut it off. Oh yes. Oh yes. Staphylococcus can actually be picked up from money. Yep. That's why you see Staphylococcus aureus. You can even infect yourself. You see, like you finish counting money now. You don't say, I want to wee. You go and use your hand to remove your pants, and then you clean. You see, Staphylococcus aureus will just stroll. Go inside, especially for a female, and sometimes you scratch your ears, you scratch your eyes, you speak your nose, you remove something from your mouth. The money is as you are eating. Just count the money. Oh yeah, count. You see, yeah. Thank God you are here and you've learned that. Yes. So let's go on. Understand something very important is that mycotoxins are heat stable. Understand that these bacteria are heat stable. So boiling it, roasting it, reheating it may not destroy the bacteria. They will not destroy their activity. Remember that a warm environment is suitable for bacterial growth. So in the process of buying your material, that's when you check. I'm going to talk about it. So now there are common food sources of mycotoxins. Now this does not mean that all these things have mycotoxins, but when a food has infected with insects, when a food is not properly dried, when it's not properly stored, when it is moist, you see, you hear keep in a airtight container. Airtight container is not the same thing I put inside a ziplock that you cannot lock properly. And even if you put it in ziplock, you have to make sure that you remove the air. Moisture and air is a good place for mycotoxins to activity. Remember that there are these are poisonous chemicals that are naturally produced by certain molds, microorganisms, right? So let's go on. I'm going to be listing some common food sources of mycotoxins. I'm going to be mentioning the kind of mycotoxin that is present. And then when I go down, I'm going to be talking to you about some of the symptoms. Number 1 on the list is maize or corn or maize products. Your pap, your cereals, your all those things. They contain aflatoxins and cumonicins. Aflatoxins have been, in fact, this when you do export, send product out of the country, you find that a lot of the products that are rejected by Nigeria, because when they put them under test, it has aflatoxins. That means that these microorganisms are producing chemicals on them. So you find that there is maize is a common channel, and you see we eat a lot of corn. The people who are doing the corn already has some greenish thing on the top of it. You go and buy corn. You say corn gets this thing. You go say you make you cook am. What are you cooking? Then you will say you are not having bloating. Bloating is one of the classic signs of some. I'm not saying all bloating, but based on the study that I did for this program, 90% of people that have bloating are actually dealing with a form of food poisoning that they are not even aware of. Can hardly hear me. Can you hear me now on Instagram? Can you hear now? Please confirm you can hear me on Instagram. Can you hear me now? Are you hearing me on YouTube? Please let me know. Hello? Can you confirm that you can hear me? All right, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. So I think my stand was blocking the... So I was talking about corn. Yes, corn. Another thing is granuts. I'm talking about where infection is coming from. Food infection is coming from. All right, thank you. Food infection is coming from granuts. Granuts is another place. Granuts is very high in aflatoxins. Right? Now, another source or ingredient. Now, I'm not saying it, when I say high in aflatoxin, these are food that are common, because I didn't want to look at food that are not common. I'm looking at where are the common places where people can pick up infections, stomach, food infection, food poisoning, right? So I'm mentioning common source, corn, and what kind of mycotoxin can be there. I already told you aflatoxins and fluoresceins, yeah, pardon my pronunciation, yeah. And then we have granuts. Granuts can be infected by mycotoxins like aflatoxins. We have sorghum. We have millet, wheat, barley, oats, rice, and other cereals. These can be affected by aflatoxins, ultratoxins. There are very many like that. Then we have beans, cowpeas, right? And other dried legumes. How are these things affected? They are affected in the cost. If they are not yet affected from when you buy from the market, they become affected when you store them in your house. You see that thing that you will now buy beans. Beans will now have some things on it. You will say, let you go and sun it under the sun. No. Hello, sir. Hello, ma. Mycotoxins. That food is already infected. So when you eat that, you will say, anytime I eat beans used to worry me. Beans is not what is worrying you. Infected beans is what is worrying you. Now, remember I told you at the beginning of the class that, look, this infection can start immediately. Sometimes it can start 1 week after, sometimes 1 month after. So you may not know that it is that, and that's one of the things that when people do consultation, I begin to ask them details. How did this, where did this, how did this, because I'm trying to find out what is the cause of this problem. And when people tell me I've used ulcer medicine, the ulcer is not going, I know that, hey, we're dealing with a food infection that this person has picked up. Let's go on. Our spices, our dried spices, our herbs, our herbal powders, they can contain aflatoxins. Example of these herbs, we're talking about your pepper, your dry pepper. You see that pepper that you are buying now, or that pepper you gave for house, that pepper that you put inside this thing. You see that you already have some greenish things. You already have some things by the edge. By the head of it, you find that it has something on top of it. You decide to just gossip, and you do it. Your nutmeg, your turmeric, your ginger. You see that your ginger is looking, your ginger it has something. Your onions. You see that onion that already has this, you cut off that part, it's already infected, throw it away. Your coriander, your cumin. You see, your what is this thing that people, your dates, all those dates, your dried nuts, your dried figs, you see them. They just be more observant, you will find these things, right? Your apples, your coffee, your milk. Your milk. You don't say that, you know, somebody was saying that, oh, shebi it is from sports milk that they make cheese. I say, my dear, the process of making cheese is not the process of turning a milk that is already infected into, I said, it's not the same process. It's not the same process at all. You see, so very important. Now, how do you now, knowing that these are staple food, how do you now prevent mycotoxins? When you buy your grains, your nuts, your herbal, you know, make sure that it is not caked. You know, caked together. Your powders, that once they are caked together, know that aflatoxins or mycotoxins are already working, right? Your spices in your, you know, you buy spice now, you see the spice in the container, it has now, you now say, oh no, air have entered. It's not air that entered. It is the action of microorganisms that has made it to cake together. You see, you find insects in them, you find molds in them, you find that they begin to smell like an old box, for lack of words to describe that, right? You find that. Then what should you do to reduce? I'm talking about ways to reduce the risk for mycotoxins. When you buy your beans, your rice, and all these, make sure that they are well dry, number one, and then store them in moisture resistant containers away from the floor. So don't put your bag of garri on the ground. Don't put it on against the wall that you know has damp. You see, put them in buckets that you can lock up properly. You understand? Control insects, rodents, and then rotate your batch. Like, make sure that you are turning them. When we say batch rotation, means to say that the product you buy first, you eat first, and then you can frequently turn to make sure that the under is not just forming cake, because it begins to, actions of microorganisms begin to work from the place that has the most favorable temperature for them to the least favorable temperature for them. That's how they are able to multiply. Then next thing you need to do is that, look, anything that is bad, don't manage it. Don't use onions that is bad to cook stew. Don't use tomatoes that you see that has, you say, hey, just cut that part away. You'll be wondering why you are having heartburn. You are having serious heartburn. You eat this one, you heartburn. You eat that one, heartburn. You eat this one, heartburn. These are some of the things. They get into your body and begin to trigger inflammation. Yeah. Just let me know you are learning. Let me know something you have learned. I like feedbacks, right? So people, make sure that the persons you are buying your food from, as much as possible. All right, you are guilty of many of these things. Okay. Okay, so make sure that the places you are eating, to the best of your ability, make sure that you are able to, as much as possible, be sure that a place that they have frequent visit of health personnel coming to check, not people that will blame. I remember I traveled, one of my trips, when I travel, I don't like to stay in certain hotels and in certain areas, because I don't want to be found and they say, what happened, what were you doing in that place? So I like to stay inside the city, of the center of the city. At least I'm praying, but I also am applying a lot of security caution. So I was staying in this hotel. This hotel is a 4-star hotel. It's not a small hotel. I will not call their name. They are the same everywhere. Now, only for me, my room is behind the restaurant. So I said, okay, instead of going to turn around, can I just pass through? They said, okay, please, okay, just allow me to pass. Hey, Jesus. I just finished having buffet breakfast. I tell you, my dear people, when I walk past that place, I almost wanted to faint. Right? If you see the things that they were on the floor, I say, Chimbo. Hey, Jesus. You see? So it is very, very, very important that you are careful. And that's why your personal immunity matters, matters a whole lot. Now, let me go on. Rodents. pesticides, cleaning chemicals, kerosene, and sniper, all these things. Remember that I told you food poisoning is not just microorganisms. You have heavy metals, you have chemicals. When you split your house, do you remember to put something to cover your plates, cover your spoons, the sponge that you used to wash? Do you remember to cover it? You finish splitting everything, finish. You will now use that sponge that fleet have settled on to go and use to wash plates. Oh my God, you have just eaten insecticide. And you're wondering why you are having bone problem, why you are not just feeling all right. You're not just feeling yourself. All these things trigger unnecessary inflammatory reactions in the body. I've had people, I told you, I said I sent within the statistics, only for me to have, we've sent 12,000 people. Some of you here have gotten, you've probably sent in questions, area of concern. And I'm telling you that a lot of people have issues, they've gone to do tests, they are not finding anything because the cause of the inflammation, they are still presently exposed to it. You see, still exposed to it, you know. All right, so let's go on. Your food, kerosene, all these things, cockroach. You see all those of us wey be say you open your garri, you see small cockroach, they will be coming out. My dear, do you need me to tell you that if you like cook that garri inside the fire, the microorganisms will not die? We have established that. Heat does not kill these germs. They have, in fact, they grow in heat. Heat is a good place for them. They grow in warm environment, so they are heat resistant. So it doesn't make any difference that you are warming it. Let's go on. Diseases associated with contaminated food. Any food that has staphylococcal poisoning would have, I'm going to just be listing on, would have, it may be sudden, it may be within 30 minutes, 8 hours, or even 1 hour. The person start having nausea, start having cramping, vomiting, diarrhea, you know. Foods, and I already mentioned the foods that have, that carry, that can be, that staphylococcus have affinity for. Bacillus cereus, I will say it again, rice. Bacillus cereus is a microorganism that comes from rice contamination. So the rice that you cook that is still warm by evening, it is already that thing that is making that pot to be warm. So it's not, it's bacterial activity. You see, so all right. So salmonella will cause abdominal pain, nausea, you know. Then we have typhoid fever. This comes from food poisoning. You see, so you see, I'm always treating 5 typhoid, prolonged fever, headaches, fatigue, constipation, you know, fatigue. Then there's hepatitis. If you don't take care, you become infected, you pick up hepatitis. You know, these things cause watery eyes, itchy eyes, joint aches, stomach pains, headaches, dry mouth, dizziness, increased urination, tiredness. Now, all these things cannot be your precious garri. Yes, so all right. So let me answer some questions. I have some questions here. Although I've already answered it. Heating, reheating, adding garlic to the food, does it change? Does it have any effect? No. Boiling, reheating does not make spoiled or poisoned food safe. No, it doesn't make it safe. So once the food is infected, it doesn't matter that you put a whole farm of garlic inside of it, it's not going to become safe, right? So you throw it away. So reheating does not remove mycotoxins, does not remove the histamine formed by in poorly stored fish. Fish is another means by which people can pick up infection. You see that thing that you go and bring your fish out, it has a lot of mold in it. They now say go and put it on that fire. That fish is infected though. In my village, I come from Delta, they will now use it to cook ogbo soup. People will now eat owo soup and be having reactions. I used to think it was potassium. I do react to potassium intake, yeah, though I know. But in the course of study, I realized that that fish that they were allowed to go bad will now have green mold. Hey, Jesus. Now God now they say for all those people, but let us we need owo soup with sour bad fish. You know, they will allow the fish to grow. Now aflatoxins. It is dangerous. In fact, it triggers kidney injury. It triggers bone problems. This is a very serious issue that I'm running this campaign, and I want you to pay attention to these things. You see, a food is bad is a food is bad. What should you do? You throw it away. And if you already are dealing with some of these things, then what do you need to do? When I get to the end of my slide, I can let you know some of the things you need to do, right? You see, so please take note and stay till the end. So I've already another question is reheating of food. Now, when you store your food in the fridge, you must ensure that they become, and you bring it out. And they bring it out, right? And they bring it out, and you bring it out. It's not that one that you will warm soup, that the edge of the fish is warm, the center is still blocked. No. Make sure that when you thaw your food to make sure that it is well I'm looking at the questions that they are coming in. So make sure that it's well thawed, then you heat it very well. Now, heat is good for food that is not yet infected. So it's good so one of the ways you make sure that your food is well warmed. And then when you warm your food, remove it from near another food that is warming. You cause your food to quickly become bad, to have microorganism actions. When you leave that your pot on the gas and you are warming something else, that thing begins to transfer, right? Mm-hmm. So can you boil water on clean water to kill bacteria and then store it? So boiling microbiologically safe on water can kill. Boiling is one of the ways to make water clean, right? But water that is already infected with with hepatitis A, for instance, heat will not remove it all. So ensure that your water is well filtered, right? Does garlic make bad food safe? No, garlic does not make bad food safe. If a food is bad, it is bad. Pepper, ginger, vinegar, seasoning should not be used to treat any food that is suspicious. Okay, so the food is bad. Now I'm seeing your question. I'm answering your questions already. Okay, so the beans is bad. Can you now use garlic to cook it? Will it become good? No. The summary of this class is that any food that is infected, that is infected, there is nothing you can do to remedy it. It is bad. Throw it away. That's what I want you to understand. So onion is bad. You cannot now say you now add garlic. The garlic and the ginger, when they join together, the one that they will marry themselves have one more problem, right? So I think I've answered. If your food have weevil is a sign of infectious process. And when your food is already having weevil, that thing that is already having weevil, if you really look at it, you will be already be seeing those mold in most of those cases. That's why we say store your food in. One way to store your beans, one good way that I discovered, and then I also researched on it, is if you have good light, put down your beans inside freezer. Let it be airtight. I tell you, it can stay for long. But if you now don't have light, that is your freezer. That your fridge becomes. If you don't have good light, don't put anything inside fridge and lock it. The fridge becomes an incubator for microorganisms. Throw it away. Yeah. So if it smells good, even if it is bad and it's still smelling good, is it safe? No, it is not safe. Dangerous germs may be present and they do not change taste and they do not change appearance. And that's the truth. Boiling bad soup, will it kill the this thing? False. Heat may kill living organisms but may not destroy the toxins. Understand what I'm saying? These microorganisms, they release poisonous chemicals. When you heat, they die. But the chemicals that they have released does not die. It triggers inflammation. I want you to understand. That is the crux of this class today. That is the crux of this class today, right? Garlic or pepper kills food poisoning. Garlic and ginger and pepper and onion does not. If somebody is infected, drinking garlic, drinking ginger, drinking turmeric, it's not going to solve it. A refrigerator, keeping the food in the fridge, it can make a food safe. The temperature of your fridge must be below 4 degrees Celsius for it to be a good way to store food. I tell you, it must be a good way to store food. It must be less than 4 degrees. So now that you on light 2 hours in a day, I tell you, your fridge is more than 70 degrees Celsius. The fridge is an incubator. Yeah. So let's go on. The last meal that you eat can be a cause of an infection. Not necessarily. Like I said, someone can the infection doesn't show immediately. A lot of factors contribute to how long. They sometimes wait inside the body and begin to look for the right opportunity to strike on, right? So what are the storage rules for you to now, okay, so what do? Divide your food. When you buy your food, store them in, don't store plenty at once. Store them in smaller containers so that if anyone is, so you know, if something is going bad, they don't all go bad at the same time. They go bad from the one that is the weakest, that has the most appropriate temperature, so that the one you are going to throw away will not be too much. So for instance, you have onions now. Put your onions in a basket that is, don't arrange all of them plenty. See, on layers, right? And then so you can check. When you see that one is going bad, quickly remove it, clean it, wash the basket very well, so that black microorganism does not come and infect the other ones, right? Now, do not leave large pot of rice or stew to cool. Just leave it inside big pot. Serve them from the big pot into smaller bowls. Do not keep raw and cooked ready to eat food together. And I will tell you, go and get a food thermometer. It's not expensive. And then do not use you don't be what, I don't know what to use to say how to do. You know how you don't swear. Make a taste first. Use your do not taste suspicious food. Do not taste suspicious food. And then when you see that your food is beginning to have some, it will be bringing out some kind of, like we say, this is a sight, like some bubbles. You see those bubbles that is coming out, so I tell you, na spoil. Now microorganisms, they act so. And they tell you, as painful as it is microorganism, you just have to now decide that, am I going to keep now? So you need to stop. What is the way forward? I'm answering you. Stop eating suspected food, right? And then when you find out that you have eaten something infectious, don't start by taking antibiotics, which is what you do. You abuse antibiotics because you see there are different types of microorganisms. The first thing you want to do is restore your stomach health. You want to further restore, you want to take something that can help, build your stomach immunity, build your body's immunity, because remember that your body has a very good defense. Build your body immunity, right? So if you suspect that you have been infected, you have eaten something infectious, and you are having bloating, you are feeling like you're having ulcer, I just tell you, just subscribe for my digestive system combo and just use it. It's not, the digestive system combo is going to help build your digestive system immunity, right? Your digestive system immunity, such that your body is now able to contain these things and then you now learn these things, because it's not that you now buy my digestive, this is that you go and eat poisonous food, then come and say it did not work. It's not, if this is the one that you have used, that your body, that my digestive combo will help you for, not the one that is going to come. It is not you use it once and save for once, save forever. It's not save for once, save forever. If you go and buy groundnut that you are seeing that groundnut, that the groundnut don dey get this thing, you now say let I just remove that one, you now eat it. Then you now say you are having belching, having heartburn. If you eat, the food is hanging. If you are the food, will you not hang? You will hang now, because microorganisms are working, right? So also too, if you now find out that you are having diarrhea, then you need to immediately initiate ORS. When you are having stomach issues, don't start with taking antibiotics. That's just what I would say. Don't start with taking take antibiotics, or you go and take what is that they call am, just go and drink milk. You can imagine somebody as the cause of the problem is a mycotoxin from milk that the person drank. Then the person now go and drink milk. What will happen? You go to the toilet and drink. You see, all those kind of excreta that you go to the toilet, everywhere will blast. Those are sign of those are sign of food poisoning, right? Now, if you find at any point that you are not able to drink, you are not able to drink water, you become, your throat become very dry, that becomes a medical emergency. You need to quickly go to the hospital, right? And then if you think that, so that's why in the care of your food, in the storage, in the be to kill mosquito, in the to kill cockroaches. Remember, I didn't even mention cockroach because I'm sure you were thinking I was talking about the cockroach and all that. If you see me tell you that I want to do health talk for you, know that the things I will be telling you are the things that you did not know. I don't come and tell you the things you know. It's the things you don't know that I come and tell you. See, so pay attention, and by God's grace, I'm going to try every week, every Saturday to go live. So I just have how many people watching here. This is not very encouraging for me because I'm bringing value. You're not for this one. It's free. This classes is gonna be free for the month of September. I'm just doing that, So you should get more people for the next class. I need you to give me a commitment that I'm going to find 1,000 people streaming because you are getting value. Let them come and learn. See, the world is better when we are all well, and that's the truth. That's just the plain truth. Now, so I think I'm already I'm already wrapping up now. I'm just going to look at the group to see if there's any question I've not answered. 5 things I need you to know. Food can be dangerous, even if it is looking good, smelling good, it can be dangerous. And then know that the last thing you ate may not be where the infection is. Infection can start after up to 2 days after eating an infected food. And so also know that when you cook your food, remove that food from the fire, serve it into smaller containers so that it can cool faster. Don't leave it, and then don't leave your pot of food that you have cooked on the gas, and then something else you are cooking is transmitting heat to it. Bacterial activities start acting. And so my name is Dr. Rita Jabin. If you are not following me, if you are meeting me for the first time, I'm a naturopathic doctor. I use natural remedies. I educate people on safe ways to live and to prevent health. I handle specialty, mostly organs like the kidney, organs like the heart, organs like the liver. These are areas of my specialty, but I use natural remedies, I've been practicing for over 12 years, and I've helped quite a lot of people. And so I'm doing this health talk. I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube. If you have not yet subscribed to this page, please subscribe to this page. And there are several videos that I've done that I need you to watch. And so if you have any stomach issues, I'm encouraging you, please put the number on the screen. I want you to subscribe for my digestive combo if you think you're having issues around bloating, constipation, pain after eating, everything around your digestive system. Please subscribe for my digestive system combo. It will certainly help you. And now take note of these things that could have been the cause of it, because oftentimes people say, I've been treating this ulcer, it's not going. It's not ulcer that you are having. You have picked up a bacterial infection or a fungal infection. And also pay attention to pesticides. Pesticides are real. Pesticides are very, very real. They are real. They come from the food you buy. They come from you yourself as you're trying to clean your house, make your house clean, and by fumigating and all that. Yes, so you said, do I teach about HPV? I have done live on high blood pressure. Please go to the page. There are several videos on high blood pressure, food to eat for high blood pressure, this for high blood. Just this page that you are on, watch videos, several videos there. I've talked about antibiotics, I've talked about bone, I've talked about prostate, I've talked about cancer, I've talked about hepatitis, I've talked about fatty liver. There's basically, if there's anything I've not talked about, it's very small. I've covered almost all the systems in the body. So the teachings are on the page. Please watch, learn, and there are soups you can eat. They are there free of charge for you to watch. So I'm not going to take questions now because we've had 1 hour. I'd like to hear from you. How has this class been? Let me start by taking this thing from Instagram. Instagram says that I'm guilty of these things. How do we limit the exposure and the impact? So by checking, one of the ways to limit exposure is by checking, safety checking. Don't assume. And you know, when you look at your food very well, make sure that those things I talked about, the temperature of your food, make sure that aside from temperature of your food, also make sure that when you are buying food from outside, be very careful. Don't just buy and eat and then wash your hand properly. I told you about money. One of the ways, your phone. So before you eat food with your hand, you wash your hand with soap properly. And if you keep long nails, wash inside of your fingers very, 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 very well, right? So I believe I've talked about. Now let me look at the okay, so what other question am I seeing here? The teaching is entering my brain. Okay, hey, whoa, all right, okay. Yes, thank you. Weevil. Okay, please, the weevil inside dry rice, is it poisonous? So like I told you, I said one of the signs that the food is getting bad is that it begins to get infected with weevils, because where you see weevils, that means that microorganisms are already present. So as much as possible, please do away with such foods, right? And then that's why I said, what should you do? If you buy a bag of rice, store them in smaller bits with cover. Don't put your food on the floor. Don't put your rice on the ground. Don't put your garri on the ground. Don't put your beans on the ground. You see, because the ground sometimes releases some moisture that can, they are inside sack. If it's possible, remove them from inside that sack and put them inside container. Even me too, I'm talking to myself right now because I still have rice that is inside sack. Oh yeah, you should go and remove that rice. Elders are Evans. Oh yeah, go and remove the rice that is inside sack. Yes. Okay, so you are having these symptoms. If you are having these symptoms, I'm going to just tell you, please just get my digestive combo. It has to do with my stomach tea, really, my stomach tea. What is it going to do for you? It's going to help build your digestive system. Where is your digestive? From your mouth, your throat, your stomach, your large intestines, down to your anus. Help to build build your system and help you build a good immunity against the present infection that you've had, and then to help you prevent. So in how do you make sure that it doesn't come back again? You now make sure that you take actions, right? Take actions that you have learned. Go back to this video. This video is on YouTube, is on Instagram. Watch it again and learn those things, right? Learn those things. Yes. So if you're having those digestive problems, please just get the digestive combo. Digestive combo is made up of just 2 stomach teas. You don't need to take antibiotics. I don't need to give you antibiotics. Just something to build. It builds your stomach. The whole of your own natural immune system helps you to build it up for it to be able to help remove the effect of all this. And then as you practice good food hygiene. Remember I said good food hygiene, right from when you buy your food to where you store your food to how you prepare your food to even when you have prepared your food. You see, good food hygiene is very important. You can deal with an infection now. If you next month go and eat corn when don't do this thing, you go pick another one. Remember that I listed the common sources of these things, and I'm focused on people in Nigeria here. and that's why I gave you this. So if you are having these symptoms, you are dealing with all this complaint, please get my digestive combo, 2 parts of the stomach tea, and then it helps you to be all right. Now, so I've talked about weevils, chemicals. If you feel that your food have chemical poisoning, please, as much as possible, if you suspect that your food may have, maybe they use there's this, what they use, sniper. They use sniper to protect it. You see, this thing becomes ingrained into your system, and they trigger inflammation. A lot of times now we see a lot of people, they are already battling with a lot of health issues that when they run tests, they can't even point out exactly what is causing this health problem, but sometimes it may be as a result of these things. So I want to encourage you, please and please and please and please pay attention to your diet, pay attention to the persons you are buying things from, your vegetables. I know I did a video some time ago about vegetable poisoning, your ugu. When you see ugu that is very green, now this is just a little more test. If you put your vegetable inside water and it changes color, please know that you are eating fertilizer. It's loaded with a lot of fertilizer, right? It should have, your ugu should not change to green color. Your carrot should not change to red color or orange color. You understand? When you put it, it should have dust. It should have okay, when something has gone through sand, you should find sand because it's removed from the ground and all of that. You put green peas inside water, green peas now turn green. Please don't take it. It's very bad. So these are some of the safety things that we need to pay attention to. You buy your gari, you make eba, or your beans, your yam. Let's even look at yam. Yam don't grow mucus. Yam is my favorite food. And you can never go wrong with yam for me. I can eat yam and water, yam and air. I can eat yam like that. Any form of yam is, so it was very painful for me to find that my yam was going bad. But I had to throw it away because I had to calculate. Then if this thing come out, because heat, remember, the mycotoxins that this thing releases into the food is not affected by heat. The organism can die, but their chemical that they release does not die with heat. And when they accumulate in the body over time, they begin to trigger inflammatory reaction. We have a lot of people having arthritis pain, bone pain, my back is bending me. What is triggering all this inflammation? Some of these things that you're eating. You see, so I want you to be safe out there. If you want to reach out to me, my number is 070-6171-3985. Again, I say it, 070-6171-0985. I think so. 070-6171-3985, not 093985. All right, so I've been talking for the past 1 hour. My throat is peppering me now. I need to wrap up this class. Thank God we spent just 1 hour, and I think I've answered all of your questions. I'm sure you've had a fantastic time today. All right, you have heart enlargement, okay, that will not be taken in this class. So I have question and answer session next week. I'm going to be taking random question and answer session, so please tune in next week. I think I'm going to do 5 to 6 o'clock, not 6 to 7, right? 5 to 6, so that we can since it's question and answer session, 5 o'clock in the evening we'll go live to 6 o'clock or 6:30 later, so that we can close up. So please, next week Saturday, 5 to 6 o'clock, I'm going to be taking questions. If you are having heart enlargement, you can get our heart combo. You can watch out for videos that I've done here on heart. It's there. But if you are having heart issues, please get our heart combo. Please, the number is on the screen. Get our digestive system if you're battling with digestive problem, and I tell you, it's going to help you. And this is me with all the love in my heart and all the care, and I want you to be well, and I want you to know that God loves you so much, Jesus loves you so much, and Jesus wants you to be well, right? And I believe that Christ is coming soon. If you're not yet born again, please, you need to give your heart to Christ. So I'll see you next week Saturday. If you are going to be live next Saturday, please give me a thumbs up. Let me see you. And you're going to tell people you are going to be here. If not, I'm not going to come. Because if I come and see 15 people next week, I know go come. I will just say I'm not doing it again. All right, I'm waiting for you. Will I see you next week? How many people are you going to bring next week? Thank you so much. Bye from YouTube. Bye 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 bye. All right, bye.